Hey everyone, Brian here. Now, excuse me. Now I've done a lot of my defensing of this couple, what you see here, which is Sonic the Hedgehog and Princess Sally Acorn. I've done my opinions, the love lives, and I've defended them and things like that. And I'm not the only one that's done that either. There's a lot of people like me that defend as to why these two should be or are a couple or will be a couple. Now, I have noticed, honestly, lately, that this debate, just as it's done in the past, is growing once again. The reason it's growing once again is because of what's been happening lately in some of the issues that Ian Flynn has wrote over the past couple of years. I mean, you take a look, honestly, at 174. You take a look at that. You take a look at the cover, and then you take a look on the inside, and you see a lot of hints, subtle hints, of what's going on, of something there that's still there between Sonic and Sally. I mean, when Sonic arrives at the palace, and how the king and the queen are commenting on how, Sonic and Sally are flirting and teasing each other, and things like that. And you see the reaction of Sonic and Sally in the panels from what everybody is saying, and then you see the reaction on them, in the panel at the end during the wedding between Antoine and Bunny. What I'm saying is that these are just subtle hints that there is a strong, if not a very strong possibility that Sonic and Sally will be together again. I'm not saying when or where, I'm just saying these are strong hints. I know a lot of fans may not like to hear that because they feel as though this is not the right thing for Sega to do. Sega shouldn't, put these two together because they shouldn't be together. Well, the truth is, they're going to probably end up together whether, you like it or not. I mean, there's just too many hints out there. You take a look at another hint that's out there. I can't think of the issue number right now, but it's where Sonic gets kidnapped by Knack the Weasel and the Destructics and brought to Mammoth Mogul. I can't think of the issue number right now. But before that all happened, Sally asked for Sonic to meet her on a rock cliff or something like that, and so she could talk. So basically, she could talk to somebody. Now you'd think that she could probably ask for someone other than Sonic, like say Bunny or Rotor, but no. Instead, she asked for Sonic, who happens to be her closest friend. And we see them talk. We see them talking about what happened in 134, and then in the last panel, before they're interrupted, it looks like they're about to kiss. So there is strong evidence there that there is a possibility. And then probably to really help out the most, you take a look at recently in 199, that panel where Sally is hugging Sonic, telling him, be careful. She's basically lounging at him, not as a best friend, but as someone that's in love with him. Basically what I'm saying, and like I say, I'm not trying to start arguments, I'm just talking about what people are debating and talking about right now, is the fact that the hints are there. The hints are there, so you have to be ready. Whether you like it or not, you have to be ready. I mean, you take a look in the past. You take a look at some other comic companies out there that have done things similar. You take a look at, let's say, Superman back in the mid-90s. Superman and Lois Lane were married off, am I right? There's a lot of fans that even to this day don't like the idea that Superman is married. Clark Kent, Superman, is married to Lois Lane, and that Lois knows his secret. Not a lot of people like that. Well, they'd probably be okay if she knew his secret, but they're not okay with him being married to her. That's the whole point. That's the whole thing. They still debate that. And even in the offices of the comic company, excuse me for a second, that just went off. There we go. But in the offices of the DC Comic Company, they still debate it as well to either make it a dream or not. Now, I'm not really sure if you take a look on the Marvel side of things with Spider-Man and the Mary Jane deal. I don't know if they're no longer married or what's going on there. But it's the same thing. Fans weren't happy when Peter Parker and Mary Jane got married, but they were willing to accept the fact that Mary Jane knew that Spider-Man and Peter Parker were the same person. They just didn't like the fact that they were getting married. They didn't like that idea. Now you might ask yourself, what's this got to do with these two? Well, in all honesty, it's got a lot to do with it. Well, it doesn't have a lot to do with it. It's just that what I'm saying is that when those things were taking place, there were a lot of hints going on in those comic books. In the issues leading up to those events of Lois finding out that Clark was Superman and Mary Jane finding out that Peter was Spider-Man, a lot of things were happening in the issues leading up to that that made fans cringe, that made them think, oh great, now what's going to happen? And then there was a lot of evidence and things and hints as well, a lot of hints and everything in issues leading up to the characters of Lois and Clark and Mary Jane and Peter Parker getting married, that a lot of fans didn't want to acknowledge. They didn't want to say, oh, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. Well, guess what? It happened. Now, despite what's going on in the Spider-Man Mary Jane deal, that's a different story. But what I'm saying is that just like with Sonic and Sally, and the hints that you have seen in the issues that I mentioned, 174, the issue where Sonic gets kidnapped, but before that, talks to Sally and they nearly kiss, to 199 and some issues in between. You think about what you think about what's going on there. You read those hints, you look at those hints that are given, and I'm not trying to say this as a supporter of the Sonic and Sally coupling. I'm not trying to say this as a supporter. I'm just saying this as as a fan and of the comic itself, and a fan of comic books in general, and someone that's seen this in other comic book medias and television medias, that don't be surprised that down the line, sooner or later, these two here get together as a couple once again, and probably on a more permanent basis. My thing is, honestly, I believe either Ian Steele, the writer at the time, or whoever is in charge of writing, is going to come up with the idea that they're going to work out the relationship to the point that, yes, they'll once again be boyfriend-girlfriend, but it'll be more on the kind of level that, or kind of an understanding that, they can't really go forward with, with the relationship. They can't, really spend time together or plan any future marriage ideas or anything like that until the war is over. I think that's what kind of messed them up in the earlier issues, like 124 and everything. They were planning to get married, while they were still fighting Robotnik and other enemies. I think what's going to happen, like I said, this is just my idea, my opinion, that whoever is in charge at the time of the writing at the time this does happen, that they may work it out to where the relationship's on a more understanding, equal ground of, hey, we all boyfriend and girlfriend, we all lovers and everything, but if we got any future plans to be married and live together as king and queen and all that, we need to put the war first before us, take care of that, then, focus on our future. That's what I think they're going to do. And I think, honestly, that Ian, and I'm not trying to say I'm in Ian's head and I know what he's thinking, but I think, in all honesty, Ian is taking a lot of inspiration from other comic books And whoever, like I said, whether it's Ian or somebody else that's in charge at the time, I've got a feeling that that's how they're going to work out this relationship. So basically what I'm saying is don't be surprised that sooner or later, sometime down the line, I don't know when, I don't know where, I don't know what year, that these two get back together, as a couple, as boyfriend and girlfriend. Do not be surprised if that happens. I'm just saying this. I'm not trying to say this is a supporter. I'm just saying that no matter how much you argue it between the haters and the supporters, it's going to happen whether you like it or not. And that's all I could say. And hopefully you have a better understanding now. And until next time, I'm Brian saying God bless and take care.